Hi guys, my name is Kathy and today I'm going to tell you how to send a follow-up email after no response. When you reach out to someone and don't receive a response, there are 5 key rules to follow. The first rule is to always send a follow-up. You might think it's too obvious to even mention, but in reality, as little as 30% of cold email senders send at least one follow-up. Therefore, if you do follow up, you show your recipient that you care more than most of the people who have ever reached out to him or her. Our experience at Woodpecker shows that the majority of prospects reply to second or third message from the sequence, and not to the initial email. Based on that, it looks like we should focus more on the follow-ups than on the opening email. Don't be afraid of sending follow-ups. They are an opportunity for you to show your prospect you really care for the reply, and that you're not giving up after the first email, like the majority of senders do. The second rule is to make your sales follow-ups valuable. Remember that your prospects do not owe you anything. They are busy people who receive many emails daily, so they will only reply to you if they feel like you can provide them with some real value. If you want to get positive replies, you'll have to spend some time personalizing your follow-ups, so they don't look like spam, but appear worthwhile to your prospect. For example, you can send a link to a piece of content they might be interested in, or mention a case study that shows how a similar company benefited from your product or service. Putting in the extra effort will definitely pay off with a higher response rate. Try to figure out what will make the other person actually want to reply. Not so long ago, I got a follow-up email that I thought I'd share here as a good example of a follow-up email after no response. I was asked to provide a quote for an article and I wasn't responding for a few days. Here's what I got into my inbox. Hi Kathy, I wanted to ask if you need more time to provide a quote. Some cool peeps you may know, like Rand Fishkin and Brian Dean, have already shared their opinions, and it'd be cool to get yours featured too. The post I'm writing is about untold stories of outreach, and I'm looking for angles that haven't been repeated in every other guide. Cheers, Nick. I felt flattered and excited that I can actually get quoted next to Rand Fishkin or Brian Dean. That made me sit down and come up with the quote right there. I sent my answer to Nick the very same day. His follow-up worked. Okay, let's now move on to the third rule, which is to send enough follow-ups at the right time. How much is enough? And what is the right time? Unfortunately, there are no straightforward answers to either of these questions. Based on research, 2 to 3 follow-ups is the optimal number, but even one follow-up increases your reply rate by 40% compared to the initial email. And regarding the right time, you should consider your prospect's time zone when sending follow-ups. Woodpecker allows you to send within chosen time zones and select the time you want the email to be sent, so it gets the timing right automatically. The key here is to be pleasantly persistent instead of being pushy. Okay, let's go to our next rule. It ties nicely with the previous one, as it's about using automation to never miss sending a follow-up. Sending highly personalized follow-ups manually is extremely time and energy consuming. But in order for your follow-ups to get replies, it is a must. Tools like Woodpecker are very helpful here and may save you hours every week. The fifth and final rule on how to send a follow-up email after no response is to stick to the 4 rules mentioned in this video. And I'm sure they will help you get more replies and become a pro at following up.